Hello, my name is Michael Acaldo, and I'm a member of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As a Vincentian family, we are called to hear the message of Christ in Matthew 25 when he says, "For I was hungry, you gave me food." Whether it's food, shelter, housing, health care, or some other basic needs, we as a Vincentian family are called to respond. St. Vincent de Paul himself was such a visionary. In his lifetime, he wrote over 30,000 letters. Think what he could have done with the mobile phone. Technology is a tool. Vincent himself used the printing press to get his story out about how to reach people in need of help and how to do it and tie it in to their faith lives. Over the last 6 weeks, we've been undergoing a Vincentian mobile revolution called vinMORE. During that time, we've looked at ways to use the mobile phone. The important question here is, what's your MO? What's your mobile opportunity? How can you use technology, whether it be a smartphone, Facebook, or some other new technology, to reach out to those in need and follow the example of Vincent, Louise, Frederick, and Elizabeth? How would they have used the cell phone? I could see Vincent himself walking down the street, seeing someone who's homeless or hungry, and just taking out the cell phone, quickly looking at where the closest food bank or soup kitchen was, and directing that person to the services they needed. Our call is, how can we respond when we see someone in need? How can we tie the mobile phone to our ministry? Not to give a handout, but instead make systemic change in our world as a Vincentian family. More than ever before, our world needs the bright light of Christ. We're all called as a Vincentian family to follow Vincent, Louise, Frederick, and Elizabeth, to follow them in their ministry to the poor and to those who need our helping hands of compassion, not only for the basic needs, but also for change. Now we will move forward in this year's virtual meeting, coming together to discuss how we can use the mobile phone to better our world.
Hi, I'm with Sister Denise LaRocque right now, and we're going to exchange a little bit about possibilities of using cell phone in ministry. And the first question, maybe, Sister, would be, what are the ways in which you use a cell phone, whether it's for text messaging or whether it's with a smartphone?
Well, I don't know what I do because my vocation ministry is very mobile, and so I have to be able to do a lot of things on the road. So I use it a lot for email, a great deal for my email while I'm on the road. And I recently have a smartphone, so I'm able to do a lot more things, to get on Facebook and to communicate in a lot of other ways through the apps that I have, and to link people to things that are going on and information that I have and events and things like that.
Hi, here I am with Sister Lisa Laguna, and I'd like to get some quick impressions from her about what she does, how she uses mobile phones, and ways in which she might envision using mobile phones. So, Sister Lisa.
Yes. Well, I think I'm like many people.
Yep.
This is my iPhone. I think I'm not as excited about I'm working vocation ministry, and I wouldn't say there are lots of vocation ministry apps. You know, the Vision Vocation NRVC has an app. Mm-hmm. It's basically a magazine app, so you can read the magazine on the app. It's not bad, but it's not, I don't know how effective it is in terms of my ministry. But I would say that of the 70 or so women that we're in contact with here in the Western U.S., The majority of them that I have regular contact with, we use texting. Not even email. They prefer texting. So I'm on it a lot. Email, obviously, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Takes a lot of time. But the most of it I do on my phone. I don't even do as much on the desktop or even on the laptop anymore. I'll see right on the phone. But I'm on the road a lot.
Hi, through the wonders of technology, I'm in contact with Lisa Bright in Australia.
And even I know I've been at meetings and we need the answer to a question, and instead of waiting the next day or whatever, you just simply make the phone call because I have all my contacts in the phone, or you simply send a text message or whatever, and things are so instant. And I think that's definitely the benefits of having the phone, having the mobile phone there. And I mean, it's I'd rather lose my wallet than I would my iPhone.
That says a lot. I'm delighted to be here with Manny Sanchez from California, working with the St. Vincent de Paul Society, young adults.
I don't have a smartphone, so I just have my cell phone, but I do a lot of texting with the young Vincentians I work with, and I get messages at all hours, day and night, asking me about everything from just a project that's coming up, they forget the details, to they need help with something going on at their conference or their church or school. So that's about the extent of it. I occasionally also use it to send out information about a project we have, just to get to our Ascensions and so on.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm kind of interested, since you have so much use of text messaging, tell us what are the advantages of that for the work that you do?
Well, as we were talking about a bit earlier, it is an instant way to get a hold of our Ascensions and for them to get a hold of me. And it's a little bit less intrusive, I think, than getting a phone call. And it's also a good way to touch bases with a lot of our Ascensions all at once, as opposed to one at a time.
How do you want to be a part of our Vincentian family mobile revolution? How do you want to use technology to better the world in which we live? We are all called by Christ to use all the assets in our arsenal against poverty. Vincent himself was way ahead of his time, using the printing press to get out his story. Today, Facebook has over 58 million mobile users only. By 2020, that's only 8 years away, that's going to be the primary way that people reach the internet, through the mobile phone. It's important for you to put this tool in your faith life. How can you use it to make Matthew 25, "For I was hungry," come to life for those in need? Now, our Vincentian family will have a brief discussion on how we can use mobile phones to better the world in which we live.
Right now, I think that the role of mobile devices is complementary to the work that we're doing. I'm not seeing one of the things that I think may be true in situations like emerging nations, because there's so little infrastructure in the traditional communication tools that you and I might use, like the telephone and or wired telephone and perhaps wired internet. Those mobile devices grow faster than the infrastructure can, and so there's a much higher adoption rate, I think, in emerging nations than there may be in domestically, in terms of the kinds of populations that we're trying to impact, I should say.
Like issues of human trafficking or the violence in different countries, that we can find out more information in those bits and pieces that people tend to digest better than reading whole books or a whole website or whatever, but just these little videos or these little articles or bits of information that they'll take the time to just do that little bit, understand what's going on better. But I think the newsletters and things like that, I think that's something we see often. But I think sharing links to different things and the networking that goes on, I think we're just starting to really understand the impact that those things can have on our society.
Here I am with Amanda Kern, and she's in process of formation in the Daughters of Charity, and currently ministering in Macon, Georgia. And
well, I've heard a lot of criticism, as I was saying before, that our generation or our time today has gotten more and more impersonal. We don't deal with people as much as we used to. Everything is done through the computer or through a cell phone. But on the other hand, I disagree with that, saying that as our technology advances, we're really looking more and more in ways how to communicate with people even more than we used to. There's so many different ways of communicating with people, and you can tell that especially my generation, I think, is just longing for that contact with other people. And knowing that you can be on the other side of the world and still have a deep friendship with somebody through those means of communication is just wonderful, and I don't think it's impersonal at all.
one of my favorite quips is that if Vincent wrote 30,000 letters, I used to just say, imagine if he had email, but now I would say, I wonder what he would be doing with Twitter.
Yes.
Or text message.
No, he would have been all over it. I think about, the fact that so often when he responded to St. Louise, he wrote in the margins of letters. He didn't sit down and write a whole new letter from scratch. He responded to her right in the midst of that. And so he would have loved this idea of being able to just insert or respond, with a couple of words and not, and he didn't waste words. Yeah. So this idea of quick communication, I think, would have been right up his alley. I'm very excited with what I see happening already in FamVin, and I am a faithful follower, watching all that kind of stuff. So I think we're moving in the right direction. I think anything that we can do that is that includes as many people as possible, that forwards the mission, which, like I said, is what I see happening right now, is really important. And I think in terms of vocation ministry, not taking advantage, but utilizing this technology, this idea of being on the move and having access to all these things, taking those opportunities to remind people that that's something to think about, to think about our life call.
When the apostles first heard Christ's sermon, "For I was hungry, and you gave me food," they must have thought to themselves, how are we going to respond to this call? Well, the mobile phone gives us a wonderful tool to make a response. This year, 47 million American households are receiving food stamps. That's an all-time high. Food insecurity in our country is at record levels. More people are going to bed hungry, especially children, than ever before. Our call is to follow in Vincent's footsteps and respond to this need by ministering to those who desperately need food, clothing, shelter, and the basic necessities of life. We are called as a Vincentian family to help those who hunger and thirst for a better life. One of our important programs here at St. Vincent de Paul is our Manna Givers program, and it is made up of literally 1,000 different volunteers that give of their time and talent to bring hope into our Bishop Ide Shelter programs. And I'm here with Mr. Anthony Daisy, who's one of these special folks that we call Manna Givers. And y'all bring a meal out on a regular basis. That's a long trip, isn't it?
It is, and I do have some dedicated guys that, seriously cook it. I'm not the cook.
You're the organizer.
I'm kind of organizer, but we have a great guys enjoy, the meals that he prepares and brings there. But we have a number of guys that's involved in it.
Yeah, well, what kind of meals do you prepare?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. But normally some good home-down cooking, red beans and rice and sausage, red beans and rice and chicken. We did a baked turkey wings, and the guy said, man, I've never eaten turkey wings,
Uh-huh.
And, when he got to tasting it and eating it, he went back like 3 times,
But the first time was a good time.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. But we, believe it or not, we don't fry much food for them, so it's normally some good baker or stewed meat that they do, chicken and sausage, and, we've even had ribs sometimes, so...
Good healthy meals.
Exactly, right.
Now, you've been doing this how many years?
Roughly, I'm saying about 4.5 years now.
What a commitment. It's an extraordinary commitment.
Yeah.